So we're going to go through a muscle energy technique, which is a technique that's used by level 4 sports massage therapists as a way of improving a client's range of movement. The aim of the technique is to create a contraction which deactivates the stretch reflex. Once the stretch reflex has been deactivated, you can move a limb to a next point of bind or increase the range of movement. This technique should be used on people who have a reduced range of movement and you will look to achieve an ideal range of movement, but don't take it beyond that range. There are two techniques or two protocols that you can follow for muscle energy techniques: post-isometric relaxation and reciprocal inhibition. Reciprocal inhibition can be used as a technique for subacute injury recovery. Post-isometric relaxation can be used in the chronic remodeling phase. We're going to start with post-isometric relaxation. So, the first thing that you need to do is take the client's limb and move it so that it's in a point of bind or a point of very light stretch. We're working on the hamstring, so we need to make sure the knee is nice and straight, and we're taking it so you start to feel a little bit of resistance and it starts to feel like a light stretch. And so for me, it feels like we're about there already. What do you think? A little bit of a stretch in there?
A little bit of stretch, yeah.
A little bit of stretch. It's not a very strong stretch. It should just be like point of bind. And point of bind means where you can start to feel some tension coming into the back of the hamstring. So it's slightly different from your proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation stretch or your PNF. This one is a very gentle way of doing things. Now I'm going to use my shoulder as a nice platform, and I'm just going to keep the knee in a locked position and just apply a little bit of pressure to the base of the foot as well. That will increase the stretch in the hamstrings. You feel that? So what I want you to do is push back against me using your hamstring around the back here, and I want you to push against me to an effort of 30% of your maximum. So it's not a very strong contraction. Start at about 10% and we can build from there. So there's a little bit of a contraction, just put a little bit more in. Perfect. You're going to hold this contraction for 10 seconds. After 10 seconds, you're going to let go of that contraction. You're going to take in a nice deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, completely relaxed, and then your therapist is going to move your leg through to the next point of bind. So there is a little bit of softening going on, and then it's starting to feel like a stretch, probably around about there again. So we've moved it quite nicely to start with. We'll do this 3 times as a minimum, but you could do it as many times as you want to in order to achieve a full range of movement. We've got about 10 degrees. Ideally, we'd want to get to about 90 degrees. So I might apply just a little bit more stretch. How does that feel there? Good. Okay. Pushing back against me. 10% to 30% effort. Relax after 10-second contraction. Have a nice deep breath in. And again, we're moving you through to the next point of bind. Stretching is okay, don't be too painful. You need to make sure that this leg stays down, and we've got the bolster in. We should maybe move the bolster out of the way. Apply a little bit of pressure there, good. And we'll keep that going until we hit full range. That is post-isometric relaxation. You need to take care as a therapist that you're in a stable position, because sometimes clients can add a little bit more than 30% effort and can knock you off balance. So it's very important that your therapist is balanced and prepared for the contraction of the muscle. Reciprocal inhibition is slightly different. We're going to work the hamstring again. So we're going to take the muscle into a point of bind, a light stretch, so roughly around about here. We can apply a little bit of pressure to the foot as well to keep that hamstring stretched, and you're going to take the leg into further flexion, keeping the leg nice and straight. So bring the leg up towards your head by activating your hip flexors and your quadriceps. So now this is done under the client's effort, and essentially when one muscle contracts, the opposing muscle has to relax. So it's working on the concepts of reciprocal inhibition or autogenic inhibition, in that this muscle is contracting, so this muscle has to relax. Once you've held for 10 seconds, your therapist will move you through to the next point of bind. The client is relaxed, When you hit that point of bind, your client will then squeeze and contract and try and get her leg further into flexion. Good. Holding there for 10 seconds. Perfect. Have a nice deep breath and relax. It's quite hard work for your client. But you can see we're moving quite nicely. And then one more time, just squeeze. There, nice, strong.
It's a lot of stretching.
So
I feel.
you can feel a lot of stretching. It's a safer version than your post-isometric relaxation because you're in control of your own muscle movement. And so if you've got an injury going on around the back of these hamstrings, you can contract to the level that you feel comfortable with. Okay, good. And then back down. And you can do that 3 times minimum or as many times as you feel it's effective.